Hello everyone, my name is Alyan and today I am here again with another special guest, Mr. Jonas. And he's from Sweden. So, hello sir, how are you?
Yes, hello, Alyan. Nice to be here. Been longing for this. You contacted me, and I've been struggling to find a suitable time. So it's great to be here.
Great, wonderful, thank you so much. So, first of all, I want to very thankful to you for giving me your precious time. Okay, so before moving on a question, can you please introduce yourself?
What did you say? What should I do?
Before moving on a question, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, yes, because the sound is a little bit, but we are quite far away from each other. Okay, yeah. Well, I live in south of Sweden. Proud father of two, one son and one daughter. Uh, Over there is my hemp house. I hope you see it. I'm a hemp house builder um, uh, and soil doctor. I've been working with land-based fish farming, ozone technology, district heating. I'm 53 years old. I've been doing quite a lot of things, and I still doesn't know what I want to do when I get old. So that's me.
Great, wonderful, really. So, can my first question in your screen? Can you tell us about your journey into becoming a father of two and how it's influenced your perspective on sustainable living?
Yes. Well, first of all, I thought if I'm not father by the age of 30, I'm going to be too old to be a father. But I became father at the age of 40, and it works pretty good, even though my daughter said I'm old and I have to be careful with myself. When you become father, your agenda or your bucket list really goes upside down. I mean, now the most important thing for me is the kids, and that my children has, and everybody's children, will have a society where they can thrive and have a good life. And as it looks like today, we are not really on the right road. But then we have young people like you and good initiatives that want to do things. I so much hope that next generation will be not so egocentric and not striving to have a big car and a lot of stuff. I'm through that. So having children, you really understand that I can't really say that, oh, I don't care, I will be dead in 30 years. No, I have kids, I will have grandkids. So it's more important than ever to really do something to save this beautiful planet. I hope that was an okay answer.
Great, wonderful. Okay, so you are known as a hemp house builder. What inspired you to work with hemp as a construction material, and what are the environmental benefit of using hemp in construction?
Well, uh, the inspiration, since 25, 30 years back, I've been dreaming about building an eco house, but there are so many varieties of eco houses. You can build it with reused bricks. You can use, there are many materials, or you can just focus on, what you can just focus on low energy. So they build what do they call it, passive houses. I think this is the same name in English. But then they're full of plastic and full of membranes and full of stuff, not necessarily natural. So I kind of snubbled on this hemp house construction. I visited a course, and there I met a bunch of people, and then I just went over there to get in touch with the people. At that time, I didn't plan to build a house, but a year later, we needed to extend. So then I called the people, and there is so many advantages with hemp, because it will, if you compare with a tree, that will, in some parts it will need 40 to maybe 100 years to grow up, depending on where in Sweden it's being grown. But hemp will grow in 4 months, so you can actually replace a lot of wood with hemp. Also, when you build houses today, I can give you an example from the Swedish. It's an organization, governmental organization for house and construction. And if you build a standard 100 square meter house today, it will actually cost you 100 ton of CO2. That was what will be released from the bricks, from the rock wool, from all the stuff that you put into the house. That's quite a lot, 100 tons. I looked, what can you get for 100 tons? You could get 4 electrical cars. You could get 40 plane trips between Stockholm and New York. So it's quite a heavy load for a house. But when you build with hemp, you're actually capturing CO2, because if I have 1 cubic meter of hempcrete, it will actually capture 100 kilos of CO2. So I haven't done any calculations yet, but I hope that at least I will have reduced minimum 50% of CO2 gas. I hope even more, because the platform is not made of concrete. In Sweden, we do a concrete platform on the ground, and then we build a house there. And concrete is a really heavy emitter of CO2. So I have a material called cell glass. So I use that as well. So I've really been focusing on building with natural materials, or materials with long-lived materials, and also that the house will be totally recyclable, and it is. So you can actually make new walls out of the old walls if you demolish it, and the platform can actually be lifted up and transported to another site and be used there. So now I'm talking not only about hemp, but the construction. But there are enormous possibilities with hemp. You live in Pakistan, you could grow hemp there, I think. I don't know if you know that, if you can grow hemp in Pakistan. But for example, you have a material, these walls, they are fireproof, they are earthquake proof, because they don't crack and fall apart, which is the case with concrete. And you can actually you grow them very quickly, and you have a nice indoor climate, because even if you have a hot summer in Australia, they have really hot summers, and they have bushfires, and they notice that when they build with hemp, they have maximum 25 degrees indoor temperature, and that is okay. You don't want to have 30-35 degrees. So there's so many possibilities with hemp. I would like to see, when they rebuild Ukraine, don't use that expensive concrete, use the hemp, because you can build houses with a local material, and you will actually catch carbon, and you will have long-lived house with pretty low energy need. So yeah, I love that hemp. I love hemp. I'm very, now you push the button. I've become very passionate when people ask me about hempcrete.
Great. Okay, so as a soil doctor, could you explain the importance of healthy soil in suitable agriculture, and the practice you promote to improve soil health?
Yes. Uh, Actually, this was also, I was I was about to fall asleep one evening, and now the CO2 level in the atmosphere is over 410, 420 something. And I thought, okay, we are going to stop emitting CO2 in the atmosphere. But what do we do with the CO2 that is already up there? What do we do with it? And then I realized, as I studied geography at the University of Lund, that if we can restore the soils, those soils actually, they are lacking carbon. They are lacking the organic material, which is so important for the soil. And then I realized that there's a problem up there and there's a problem on the ground. And if we start to restore the soil, we will, number one, well, one thing is that we will actually do something to mitigate or to solve the problem with rising CO2 levels. But why do we need healthy soils? Well, this green revolution has been, I think it's a slow suicide to human society, because it's a kind of slow extractive agriculture. We are depleting the soils. So by using, I know this woman in India, she's a well-known name, but I've forgotten her name. And they are regenerating the soils. So there are 5 principles of regenerative agriculture. I read a book. I will give you an advice here. His name is Gabe Brown, and he has written a book with the name From Dirt to Soil. And he started out with a farm in North Dakota with quite bad soils. He wasn't making any money. He had to have 2 jobs just to pay the bills. And he started to question why he did things the way he did. Why do I plow my soil if I have 200, 300 millimeter of rainfall annually? It will just dry out the soil. So he realized that he was starting to talk to people who has started to also change their ways of doing things. So there are 5 principles. You do till free, you keep the land covered, you have a mixture, you have biodiversity and living roots all year round if it's possible. And then he integrated animals, because they are grazing and they leave their droppings. And you really kickstart the microbiology, because if you don't have the microbiology, they say, like, soil without biology is geology, and you can't grow anything in stone or in sand. You need this these billions of bacteria, fungi, nematodes, protozoa, microarthropods, all that you need in the soil, because it's like the external gut system for the plants. We have our microbiology inside our guts, but the plants actually have their microbiology. Their gut system is sitting on the roots, living in the soil, in the rhizosphere. So that is the interesting thing. People that start working with Mother Nature, they notice that their margins are higher. It takes a couple of years, but when they have gone through that, they are very enthusiastic. And so the soil is important. And if you have a soil that is healthy, you will be better prepared if you have drought or if you have heavy rainfall, because the soil becomes like a sponge. So it will actually be more prepared for those weather extremes. So it's a good way of protecting your land, protecting your income, and have a long-term view, perspective on your agriculture. I mean, we do this for our kids. We want the kids to take over the farm when we are gone, etc., and go from generation to generation. We don't want to leave them with a bunch of problems and poisoned soil or just deserted land. Okay, I think I'm ready there for next question. Are you still there, Elaine? Ah.
Du måste åka iväg nu.
Ska ni iväg nu?
Du ska iväg.
Ja, snart.
Och du bara tittar på henne. Alltså mamma är
Nej,
så
men-
jobbig och försöker hitta bevis om att jag spelat Roblox när jag jobbar. Du ser,
Men jag håller på med en
ingenting står
intervju.
om Roblox.
Ja, jag håller på med en intervju.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, I hear you. You disappeared for a while. I thought you got
Sorry
bored
for
with me.
Sorry for
Yes.
disconnection by mistake.
Oh.
I was disconnect. It
No.
was error. So
No problems.
much. Okay, so my next question in your screen: can you share your vision for a future where get forward?
Yep. Well, actually, now this vision for circular economy and regenerative agriculture. I do lectures on in a school in Sweden, and for future farmers and people who want to work in the green industries, as we call it. And I tell them that the situation we have now, doing things like we have always been doing, they can forget about that, because we are seeing the beginning of a new era due to climate change. We have the war in Ukraine. We have rising prices for petrol and all that. We have to start doing things differently. And I see, I have connections in France. I have people in America. And it's popping up everywhere, this regenerative agriculture. And I think, and also you see the big companies, General Mills, they stated that they want to go into regenerative agriculture. We have to be careful, because they might hijack the term or this regenerative agriculture and make a greenwash version out of that. But at least they realize that we can't go on with this linear, we buy fertilizers from Russia or Morocco, phosphor and nitrogen. We produce nitrogen in big factories, and they release quite a lot of, I think 3% of the total CO2 emissions comes from this Haber Bosch process where they make nitrogen. And then we spray it on our land, and then it will end up in the rivers and they will pollute. So we have to go circular. And so the regenerative agriculture and circular economy, I think they go hand in hand. And also when people get to know how their food is being produced, sometimes they tell us that, oh, the chocolate that you eat is actually, they have had child labors to collect the fruit is not ethically okay, and people get very upset. So today you have to be an enlightened or informed consumer. And also with this chemical, conventional green revolution agriculture, it it gives a lot of high yield varieties. It gives you a lot of high production, but the quality of the food isn't very good because it's only NPK, the three most important. You got nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Without those three, you can't grow anything. But you need all the micronutrients, and you don't find them so much in conventional crops. So people in general, they want healthier stuff as well, and you get that with regenerative agriculture. So my vision is that people get more informed. They get more with higher knowledge. They will start to question how we do things now, and they will be more involved in the food production. I hope, because today we have become passive consumers. We go to the store, we pick whatever we need. Strawberries in the middle of the winter in Sweden, they're important from Spain or from the other side of the planet. You do that when you're not involved and you don't have this relation to food production. Now I'm growing my stuff in the garden, and I send my kids out to pick up some potatoes or herbs or carrots or whatever it might be, and they love it. And you are more respectful to your food when you have it like that. So it's not going to be easy, but I think we have to make this regenerative agriculture become a household word for people in common. We have to spread the word about regenerative agriculture and circularity, because otherwise our civilization will go down. We can't. We are 8 billion people, I think, and we can't go on with this linear grab, consume, and then you dig it down in a landfill. We have to start using things and be more respectful to our planet and the resources.
Really great, awesome. Okay, so my last question is, what message or call to action would you like to convey to our audience regarding the importance of embracing calorie economic and regenerative agriculture principles?
Mm, well, for me to do this, you got to be curious. You got to be passionate, and it's got to be based in a huge interest for your planet, your society, your loved ones. Uh, I mean, this planet, you have to love it. So I think people today, the problem is that they don't even love themselves. A lot of people in the Western world are depressed because we are living so wrongly. We are becoming too individualistic, hard word to say, focusing on stuff, on things, on material, having this big car, having this big house, making all those money. It's pretty poor spiritually. A lot of lonely people in the entire Western world. They are people that don't have one single friend, and that is, to be in that situation it's just as dangerous to be a heavy smoker or drinking too much booze. How do you say, alcohol? So to promote regenerative, you got to get out, be in the nature. If you have people living in the city and they buy their food in the store, it's pretty hard to change anything. But when I talk to people and I tell them about what I've been doing, building the house, growing the land, they all, most of them say, "Oh, I would love to do that." We have to make it possible for people to grow, start communities where, you know, an entire how do you say, a street in the city goes together and have a spot where they can grow things together, get together, share knowledge, share experiences. And also there are quite influential actors also that are making money from the current situation. They don't want to change anything. They are big companies, and they are threatened by new ideas like regenerative agriculture, because regenerative agriculture doesn't need that amount of chemical fertilizers or pesticides or fungicides, whatever it might be, because we are working with nature. So they have actually, even in a country in Sweden, we say that, oh, Sweden is fantastic, we don't have any corruption, we are so good. Even in Sweden, the researchers at the agricultural universities, they are sponsored. Up to 50% of the salary comes from the university, but the rest of the salary they have to sell themselves to the companies who want to pay them to do the research. And the companies with money is the companies that are making money already now with this chemical agriculture. So they have they are controlling the agenda. They are controlling what we are discussing in the mainstream agricultural world in Sweden or in Western world. They are very influential, and they have always had the politician's ear. But things are changing slowly, and I think the politicians, they are pretty how do you say, they're pretty coward. They are just there to have their power. They want to stay at the power. So they are not the people that will change history. I think today it's organizations, it's companies. They have a very strong agenda. You see a lot of good initiatives there. The politicians, they are looking at it, and they're not too brave, actually. So I think it has to come from all the enthusiastic people, and people like you and me. Just take to decide that, yeah, this is my passion. Find an area that you feel strong passion about. It doesn't have to be agriculture. It can be water treatment. It could be so many things. Building or democratic, taking care of the democratic processes, be against corruption, things like that, free press, free media. And pick your field and do what you can to build a society, a healthy society. And with that, you will have regenerative agriculture and circular economy with that, if you can inform people. Yeah.
Great, great, awesome. So I'm again thinking.
Now I can't hear you really well, Alyan. It's a long way to Pakistan. Ja. Nej, man ser bara en bild på han som intervjuar mig.
Ser han dig?
Ja.
Men kan han svenska?
Nej, han kan
Men varför
engelska.
intervjuar han